Good morning, traders, and welcome to NewsWares Trade Talk for Wednesday, November 12th. Okay, let's take a look at the action. I'm looking at the S&Ps. We're up 0.34%, which is positive. I mean, we were up, about a little over 0.1%, and 0.2%. Now we're up 0.34, which is, positive start for the day. I mean, realistically, there's a lot of exuberance over this anticipated congressional vote to reopen the government. Remember, it didn't cause much of a sell-off in the markets, but, there's a lot of enthusiasm right now that this is going to really be something spectacular that, for the markets. At least we'll start getting economic data back. Tech shares are leading the gains this morning. I mean, there's a lot of positive action coming out of AMD following its analyst meeting yesterday, and IBM unveiled, its Quantum Nighthawk processor, which is really helping deliver and boost sentiment in quantum stocks and AI stocks this morning. President Trump, he's having a dinner tonight with a bunch of top Wall Street executives. Could be something there. Today, there's a lot of Fed speak going on today. The Fed officials, are going to be making comments on monetary policy. They're going to, and that could really set the tone for a possible December rate cut. So we got to keep our eyes out on that. On the earnings front, we got some gains coming in from OKLO, Owen, and TME, Tencent Music. They're all trading higher after their earnings releases. After the bell today, you got earnings coming out from Cisco, D-Local, DLO, and Flutter Entertainment, FLUT. And then tomorrow morning is Disney, DIS, JD.com, ticker JD, and BILI are all scheduled to report. Okay, let's take a look at the action going on in Europe this morning. Listen, for the most part, we are seeing gains. I will tell you that. We're looking at the DAX, for example, which is positive this morning. They had their inflation, their CPI data come out, which showed a 2.3% rise in the annual increase in October, which was slightly below the estimate. So that's helping the DAX move higher this morning. Showing gains in the DAX of 322 points. That's 1.34%. The FTSE, on the other hand, is flat. I mean, it's down 0.02%. The weakness is really concentrated in commodity-linked sectors. The major energy and mining stocks are showing a little weakness, which is, that index is very heavily weighted towards commodities and energy, which is why it's trading flat to lower this morning. The CAC in Paris, showing a good gain, up 1.33% this morning, led by banks and luxury stocks. So, that's good to see. Then we're turning our attention over to Asia last night to see what the action is. And Asia was, mainly higher. I mean, the Nikkei jumped 0.43%. That's 228 points. The thing about it is the yen is weakening, and that's really creating support for manufacturing confidence. That is a very export-driven economy. And then you get the Hang Seng, the Hong Kong exchange. It was up 226 points. That's 0.85%. That's the third advance in a row. I mean, really moved higher after comments from China's central bank pledging to maintain appropriate loose monetary standards. The Shanghai Composite in China, that did pull back 0.07%, minor, but it was lower. I mean, they got a bunch of economic data, scheduled for release, regarding their growth trajectory. Seen some weakness in some consumer-related sectors, selected finance, manufacturing a little bit, but it was minor because the market didn't really get hit too hard. Then we're taking a look at oil this morning, and oil right now is down over 1%. You got WTI at $60.39 a barrel. You got Brent at $64.49 a barrel. What's happening in oil? Well, you got two key reports coming out today. You have industry reports from OPEC and the EIA that are expected today, this morning. We want to see about the supply and demand outlook, and that's what these reports are going to provide an insight into. So we're waiting on those reports that should come out this morning before the bell. And then later today, after the bell, you get the API data coming out. So, we're seeing some weakness. It could hold on for the entire day, but oil is trading lower this morning by more than 1%. Okay, let's move on and let's take a look at the earnings action that's happening We want to start off with Circle Internet Group. That's ticker CRCL. I mean, listen, they delivered a beat of 47 cents. It was good, but they're comparing the data to last year's, and that's typically always a negative. Stocks trade a little off this morning due to that. 10 Cent Music, TME, Tom Michael Edward, they beat by 2 cents, which is positive. You look at the stock; it's up a little more than 0.5% this morning. Then we're moving on to what we're going to see, what's coming out. And, after the bell today, we got Cisco, ticker CSEO. Their EPS is 98 cents and the expected move is 6%. Then you got Disney tomorrow morning, Walt Disney, ticker DIS. Their EPS is $1.03 and the expected move here is 7.18%. So we've got to be a little cautious there on Disney. In terms of economic reports, the key economic report today really is the API oil stockpile estimates, which is coming out after the bell at around 4:30. In terms of Fed speak at 9:20 a.m., we're going to hear from New York Fed Bank President John Williams. At 10 a.m., we're going to hear from Philadelphia Fed Bank President Anna Paulson. At 10:20, we're going to hear from Fed Governor Christopher Waller. At 12:15, we're hearing from Atlanta Fed Bank President Raphael Bostic. At 12:30, Fed Governor Stephen Moran will be speaking. And then at 4 p.m. Eastern Time, Boston Fed Bank President Susan Collins will be giving a speech. Okay, let's take a look at the markets this morning. I'm looking at my Dow stocks. I got 10 lower. I got 16 high. I got 10 lower. I got 18 higher and 2-1 change this morning. I'm looking at my FANG stocks. I'm showing gains, at least 0.5% on all of them. So that's kind of setting the tone for this morning. We're talking about news hitting the tape this morning, like Amazon. They have Amazon Prime. That where you can get a subscription where you pay more, or you get the subscription with the ads. Well, their advertising on Prime Video has reached 315 million monthly users. That's big. Google, they're partnered with Turkcell to launch Google Cloud in Turkey. I remember when Turkcell went public. I was down at the exchange that day. Meta Platforms. The EU is calling Meta Platforms their WhatsApp app a very large platform. See, this is a problem because now they got to, Meta Platforms needs to carry out risk assessments for WhatsApp, and they're going to have to report usage every 6 months. They don't want to do that. We're talking Dow Jones 30 stocks, and we're talking, IBM. They announced advances on their timeline for that Nighthawk quantum computer. They feel that they're going to reach quantum advantage by the end of next year. Chevron's out there outlining its 5-year plan at their Investors Day. NVIDIA, China chip sales they're said to be scrambling for chips. In terms of merger news, BILL said to be working with an advisor and exploring the sale. Clearwater Analytics, that's ticker CWAN. Charlie William, Apple Nancy, they're considering a sale amid takeover interest. We got to talk some guidance news. We got to talk AMD. AMD outlined their plan yesterday at the analyst meeting, targeting over 35% revenue growth and $20 EPS. I mean, that's why the stock is rallying. I mean, I mentioned that they were having an analyst meeting yesterday, which is why we were paying attention to the stock yesterday. And boy, is it showing gains this morning. Shareholder meetings today. We got Moderna, mRNA. They're having a shareholders meeting that starts this morning. In terms of buyback news, Chevron is outlining their 2030 growth plan to purchase $10 to $20 billion of shares annually through 2030. In terms of catalyst calls, CAVA, CAVA, Citibank opens up a positive 90-day catalyst watch on the stock. Sweet Garden, SG, Sam Grace, Citibank opens up a positive 90-day catalyst watch on the stock. Okay, let's talk about a stock for today. Let's talk about D-Local. That's ticker DLO, David Larry Oscar. Earnings are out after the bell. EPS is 16 cents. Expected move is 19.97%. Okay, look at, yesterday's call volume. 43,000 calls traded. 43,000 calls to 3,700 puts. That's significant. Then the open interest is 17,000 same sort of differential where you're seeing a major displacement between the calls and the puts. Look at the open interest, we're talking 173K to 63K. Yeah, that's big. And then major brokers do like DLO. They are raising price targets on the stock. But the entry price is everything here. And here's the stock trading 1440 to 1458. I want to get in. I'm going to say 1430 to 1440. I think if I can get in there, it'll be positive. It's showing a little weakness this morning, but that weakness could turn as we get closer because the option volume is indicating that people are positive on the stock. The brokers are positive on the stock. And the market will reward them. So, we are looking for some gains in DLO. David Larry Oscar after the bell today when the earnings come out. Okay, let's talk about the news hitting the tape this morning. Let's see, what do we have here? Owen on holdings up 8% after Q3 results and a full year 2025 guidance. RXT, Rackspace Technology, unveils Rackspace AI Launchpad. Target announced new AI tools to assist with the holiday shopping season. JD.com's earnings are tomorrow morning. Lilly, their obesity drug remains a key driver for the stock. A major broker did raise their price target to $1,500 this morning. GM is out there. They want their part makers to pull supply chains from China. Chevron targets 10% annual cash flow through 2030. Microsoft said it's expanding its quantum facility just outside the Danish capital of Copenhagen, building its second lab in the Nordic country. Eli Lilly, the drug maker, is dropping CVS Health drug benefit plan for its employees after CVS stopped covering its weight loss drug in favor of one from Novo Nordisk. That's all I'm seeing there this morning. Okay, let's talk about yesterday's action and stock of the day, which was ticker CRCL, Circle Entertainment. Listen, the volatility was there. It was a wild ride for this one. The stock was up big in the pre-market yesterday, and I think it was trading 105, and I was like, listen, I think it falls, and I was thinking like 101.50. Well, I wound up getting in at $100.11, and I sold out at 101.18, which beats the 1% goal, but the volatility was there in the stock. Definitely didn't want to hold it into earnings because, the price targets were actually lower than where the stock price was by about 10%. So, I was really cautious on it. It wasn't hitting all my items that I like to see, but, it was the best of breed, and I figured with the volatility I'd be able to pull out a gain, and I did. 101.11 to 101.18. That's more than 1%, so that's positive. But that's what I have for you for NewsWares Trade Talk for today, November 11th. Guys, you know what to do. Let's go out there and let's make some green.